Hey everyone, Justin here. So I'm gonna go ahead and start doing these honest thoughts. Uh, what I'm gonna be doing is this is just gonna be totally unscripted, totally off the cuff. We're gonna be talking about each Pokemon generation as we cover them in the cooking videos. So be sure to check out that as well. So we're gonna start out talking about Pokemon Generation 1. Now when I do these, I'm only gonna be talking about the generation in question. So the first two are pretty easy. Like for this one, we're only going to be talking about Generation 1, so red, blue, and yellow. I have not played the Japanese blue, so that I won't be talking about that here. But like, for example, when I get to Generation 3, I'm only going to be talking about ruby, sapphire, emerald, fire red, leaf green. And I won't be talking about like Colosseum, XD, or Pokemon Ranger. So basically only the mainline games and the remakes when they apply to that generation. So anyway, let's go ahead and start talking about Generation 1. So, my exposure to Generation 1, so I had actually seen like a couple pictures in Nintendo Power, and then of course I saw the ads for Red and Blue in like Target and Walmart ads. I didn't really think too much of it at the time, but we had a day off from school one day, and I remember a friend of mine who was a grade ahead of me, he was in middle school, so he got off a little earlier than I did. He told me about the anime, and I thought, oh, cool, let's check it out. By the way, I know it was different for everyone everywhere, but like here, I thought it was really really dumb how they play Pokemon at like 2:30 in the afternoon, like when most of your target audience was at school. Like I was in fifth grade at the time, so like I didn't get home till like 4 o'clock, so I missed it. And then of course this was the days before video streaming. You didn't have DVR back then, so yeah, that was the only time I ever got to watch the anime was if I happened to have a day off from school. But anyway, so we watched the anime. I was hooked immediately, and then I wanted the games. The anime came out. I want to say like the last week of August of 1998, and then the games had come out. I think like anywhere from like 2 weeks to like a month later, and I remember I got red version and a new Game Boy Color for Christmas that year. My mom and grandma, I remember they told me that they had gone to like all the major retailers in the area, and finally they went to Toys R Us where they had one copy of Red left. Of course, this was also the days before Amazon. I think Amazon was around, but they just did books. But yeah, you definitely didn't have online shopping like you did. Um, so I got a copy of Red version and a new Game Boy Color. Um, Now, also, this was a very new experience to me because I had never really played RPGs before. I mean, I played Mario RPG back when it first came out, like 2 years prior, but I didn't know what I was doing. I was little, I didn't really know. Where I was 11 when Red and Blue came out, which is actually one reason why I think these games have resonated with me so much because I was like the same age as the title character, pretty much. But I'd never really played RPGs before. I had pretty much just played platformers, Mario, Donkey Kong Country. So this was a new experience for me, and I think like most kids, back then, um, my team was so unbalanced. Like I remember most of my team when I beat the Elite Four the first time. Blastoise, I think, was like level 86. Like he was definitely in the 80s. Farfetch'd was like level 40, I think. Um, Then Raichu was something like upper 30s. I had an Executor, which I don't even think had any grass moves, which was kind of funny. But yeah, he was like level, low 30s. God, there were some other ones on there. I want to say Arcanine, but also that was like low 30s, and because I had evolved it with the Firestone like as soon as I left Lavender Town. When you catch them right outside Lavender Town. So yeah, I did not know what I was doing. Uh, but you know what? It was such a fun time, especially just being able to link the Game Boys together and battle and trade with friends. That was a lot of fun. I only completed the Pokedex one time, and that was on the red version. That was pretty cool. I had actually, that's like the only time in the game I ever did complete it. I tried to in gold and silver, but we'll get to that when we get there. So then let's talk about the yellow version. So, funny enough, I always wanted the games to be kind of more like the anime. And then go figure, I heard they were releasing the yellow version, which was supposed to be more like the show. You know, the characters from the show were redesigned to look more like their anime counterparts. So, like, red looked more like Ash, and blue looked more like Gary. Um, and of course, Pikachu would follow you around, and he would also talk. So this was kind of cool, like especially being able to get all three starters. And of course, the updated graphics were kind of nice, like how the Pokemon got different sprites. Um, and then of course, fighting Jesse and James in certain spots. I sometimes I actually kind of preferred that you just had to fight them because, like, I remember in the Pokemon Tower in Lavender Town, like when you got to the top of the tower, you just fought Jesse and James, whereas like Red and Blue, you fought like it was like 4 or 5 rocket grunts back to back, and if you didn't have a lot of healing items, I mean that was just straight up tedious and exhausting in my opinion. So trading 4 battles for one was definitely welcome. Also, this was a really fun memory. So I remember 3 of my friends got a yellow version for Christmas, and it was the Blizzard of 2000 here in Virginia. And so that's all we did all day. Since we were trapped inside, we just played yellow version all day, just compared our teams, traded when needed. It was a lot of fun. Kind of miss those days. So Generation 1 was a lot of fun, definitely a lot of fun memories. Another thing I'm going to do with these videos, I'm going to rank the generations, like how much I liked them. So for right now, with Generation 1, I think I would probably put it as about, we're going to go ahead and say number 5 out of 9 right now. That's likely to change. I think the only reason I wouldn't put it higher up is just the fact that we've had updated games. I mean, in fact, like Generation 1 itself has pretty much gotten 2 remakes in the forms of Fire Red, Leaf Green, and Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. So it's definitely had a lot of updates. In fact, if I'm remembering the production history on this, like while they were working on Red and Blue or Red and Green in Japan, I think they were also working on a bunch of other games at the same time. Whereas like Gold and Silver, like they just focused on that. And honestly, it kind of shows. So, I mean, but they are not bad games. Like, it's still kind of fun to go back and revisit them for nostalgia purposes. But I think, for like a newer kid, newer generation, I think it might be kind of hard to pick these up. But like I said, good games, fun memories. I was glad to be there for their hype or their major heyday. So yeah, be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to check out the cooking video I did representing Generation 1. And I will see you next time.